Eileo guys, and welcome back. And in today's video we're going to be talking about the Oath Under Starlight event that's going on here. I saw that a couple of you guys had left comments on the previous video saying, hey Eileo, can you give your take on this? I'm kind of interested to see what you had to say. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into that. But first, especially if you guys aren't on Facebook or anything like that, we do have some lovely coupons that we get to use here. So if you slide over here to your character screen, mine's is Either because that's my main account. Then slide over here to the support tab and go to enter code here. You're going to type in, I believe it's MSL 7.5 for the 7.5 anniversary. And here we should get all kinds of rewards. So that coupon was redeemed, and I'm just doing that as a public service announcement just so you guys can get some of these lovely goodies right here, which is a free ticket for a 10+1 pull, 750,000 gold, and some energy. I mean, all that's literally from typing in a code here. But anyways, let's go ahead and slide over here to the Oath Under Starlight. So my understanding, even though I literally just logged into the game, is get to select the astromon here at its base form, and then I guess by participating in the event you get to basically end it with a free Evo 3 astromon that's Hero Festival exclusive. This is very important because some of the Hero Festival mons are very rare to get just because the pool is extremely diluted. So I think this whole event is a great idea, but really depends on where you're at in the game in terms of advice of what I could give you in terms of your whole progression regarding MSL here. So we do see that GM Mona over here has left like some details about these 5 astromon in particular, if I'm counting here correctly. So let's start with them and then we can kind of work our way down to the bottom. But keep in mind, most of the astromon here, one form of the RGBs usually a lot more useful than the other forms, and the other 2 forms should just be food. So unless you already have these astromon, or maybe you're going for the Astro Guide, try and pick the one that's going to be the best one out of the bunch for your applicable situation. But Wood Artemis, she has damage reduction and puncture. That's great for wave clearing. If you can get her on a siphon set, it may be useful in a place like the dimensional golems if you need a wave clearer for that. But outside of that, I don't really see much usage. I mean, there's also the Elemental Tower of Chaos, but this is your chance to get this astromon. So if you need her to clear that content out, then go ahead and do that. But I personally, I would just pray to the gods that I could pull her at some point in time. Water Bast used to be a very big meme in the whole Titans community of, oh man, I need a Water Bast for my team. But nowadays, I don't necessarily think you need her as much as we did back then. Even mons like Carbuncle, who have weaken on their skills too, can be useful. So once again, it's not a bad choice, but unless your Titan team is like missing literally no other astromon on your current configuration, I wouldn't go for this mon either. I mean, there's other substitutes that don't work as good as she does, but it's also probably not an at 5. So investment wise, this isn't a huge deal, at least in one man's opinion. Eileo, even though I'm going to slaughter her name, I'm just going to go for it here. She is the newest of the Fire Courageous Strikers because she has double Courageous Strike. I wish it would show the stats too, but it just shows the picture. From my understanding, I haven't really seen a big, I guess, jump in terms of damage of what she can do versus Fire Shinobi. I still think Fire Shinobi at this point in time is more so of the meta because he has Attack Down and Courageous Strike, and when paired up with multiple ones, you can make sure that Attack Down sticks on the lovely Wood Titan versus Eileo, who has double Courageous Strike. 9 times out of 10, double Courageous Strike is the way to go, but I personally don't have any experience with Eileo. Honestly, I may end up picking her just for science, just because the game literally has given me maybe 2 max, so I never had an Evo 3 one to test here. So if I do end up choosing her at the end of this video, we can kind of discuss later on. But so far, not very tempting because I already have a bunch of Fire Shinobis. So if you have a ton of Fire Shinobis, unless this girl is hitting like a butt cheek on a stick, you may be better off just keeping with what you have here. After that is going to be the lovely Wood Merlin. Bottom line up front, if you have 4 Wood Merlins, you don't need any more, especially if you're hitting Water Titan. If you're just getting into Water Titan, maybe focus on a different subgroup or maybe focus on a different Titan group and get that team built up before you go over here and pick out 1 Merlin, because then your damage still won't be very good. So if you're missing a Merlin, feel free to get one. If not, I would totally just skip them. But that is a great astromon to have, and hopefully everyone has at least 2 by now, but if you're a newer player, I wouldn't even worry about this. And then there's also the water version of Lilaps. She's an attacker, one of the more recent baby girls here. Once again, I don't even think I have a Lilaps, period. 100%, period. I don't think I have one. But she does have double lethal strike here, and I think that is very outstanding, at least for her kit. So if you're going hard into the Apophis, that may be a good choice for you. I am okay in terms of lethal strikers, but I don't think I have dedicated water versions of lethal strikers, if that makes any sense, because there's water Mira, but I think he has like lethal strike and maybe hunter, so he's not double lethal strike. So she could help fill in that niche in terms of Apophis. But once again, only do that if you're kind of committed to that squad. If you have other mons surrounding that particular element, then I would say go ahead and invest here. But I wouldn't use this whole Oath Under Starlight thing to kind of pick one off astromon. If you already have a team built for Titans, pick one of these astromon to kind of help fill in that team. If you don't have a team built for Titans, then in this scenario, it's a safe bet for you to pick one of the best ones, mainly being maybe Bell, Merlin, or Lilaps. Bast and Artemis, really aren't worth the squeeze, but that covers the best astromon, and I'm just going to go ahead and like fire on through these other guys to give you guys my whole take on this without making this video take 8,568 years. So fire Lilaps, we do have substitutions for that. I believe there's Summer Miho, the fire version of Summer Miho. We had Nutcracker, especially with the recent event going on where you could actually choose and farm him out. Even though he only has buff breaker, it's better than nothing. There's also, I think, Glenda's who have full buff breaker in one of their kits, so feel free to use that. Once again, a obtainable astromon, wouldn't really go for debuffers, period. The wood version of her with the damage reduction and the guard move, more PvP orientated. If you don't care about Titans and you're just a PvP head, maybe try this astromon out if you don't have her already. The water version of Bell has attack up and weaken. Self-explanatory here. If you're going to go with debuffing, why not just go with Bast and then have a dedicated slot to a healer and not dedicate it to a damage / debuffing hybrid. Just weird champ. The wood version of Bell also has Curse and Fulminating Curse. If you already have Curse Mon stacked up, if you have Dark Hades, there's Dark Jiangshi. We recently got a light version, I think Yeonoa, maybe with the double curse too, or either with Curse and Fulminating Curse, would be great, but very niche. So if you have 2 other or 3 other astromon that you're rocking with Curse and you really want to try that out, go ahead and go for it. Hohenheims, not going to talk about Hohenheims. Nobody wants Hohenheims. Fire, garbage. Water, garbage. Wood, you can use in golems, but nowadays, especially with so much access to other astromon here, that may not be the play of the game, but she's super common anyways. After that, there's going to be Fire Bass, Battle Rush, and then Dominance. Haven't really seen this astromon in PvP, so I would probably steer clear of that one. Wood Bast has become a little bit more popular, I would say, in the whole Titan scene. She does have some utility, and you guys will see in a future video. I think she's on one of the teams. If not, I'm wigging out, but she does have some usage in not only Titans, but Apophis, even though I understand Defense Down doesn't work there. That is a free mon to give your whole entire squad attack up. Both Fire and Water Merlins are considered wave clearers in my opinion. If you just began the game, you start with Dark Mona. I wouldn't really worry about that because somewhere down the line, unless you're a meta breaker, you'll end up with a Dark Gilgamesh, you'll end up with a Fire Draka, etc. Not a super big deal. Fire Artemis, more PvP orientated. I wouldn't say worth the investment at this point in time, especially because, at least for me, she's quite common. The water version of Artemis is a great double sapper, don't get me wrong. I definitely think she's awesome. But once again, we have other substitutes if you need sap at this point in time. There's, Dark Yuki, he's probably the best sapper at the moment because of her 5-star skill. There's Water C-Star with her super evolution. There's Water Miho, who's the worst version of Water C-Star nowadays. So you have access to other astromon that would do the same job as this one. Fire Amayoji, skip. SP Siphon and Defense Down. Just a debuffer, but I don't think it's worth it, especially with her being RGB. Water Amayoji, Double Hunter. Once again, skip. If you have wave clears, not necessary. But I would take that back with Fire Amayoji. Maybe you could use her in the Elemental Tower of Chaos if you need an SP Siphoner. but I would just skip. Wood Amayoji, kind of a particular situation here, or shall I say a very different situation, because if you are missing damage, especially in your left lane, like you have your 4 Merlins, you have your 2 Garudas, but you're missing an Amayoji, or you need to start getting some Amayojis, especially the wood one, then this may be your mon. Like, don't sleep on Wood Amayoji to help fill out that left side of Titans here. Fire Barona, no one uses her. Pseudo Wave Clear, we've already been over with Dark Mona and freaking Fire Draka. Water Barona has been not necessarily replaced, but I believe she's more so on the left lane nowadays than the right lanes of Titans because of Acer. But if you don't have any Acers and you're starting up, or maybe in the midst of, you know, having an Acer or 2 and no other creative strikers for Titans, go for that. Wood Barona, interesting back in the day, but nowadays we do have just better choices in general. So if there's anything to take away from this video, it's basically, first, look at your teams, especially for Apophis or Titans, if you're going to do it that way. Even PvP, if you know you're a PvP head. But look at the teams and kind of pick out what area is the most deficient in, and what, you know, which one of these astromon will help you out the most. If your team is already good to go, then I can understand you venturing off and maybe trying to build another team using a different element. Say for instance your fire team, or your fire team for Titans is good, but your water team is lacking. Feel free to pick Merlin in that case. But if your fire team is missing 1 or 2 astromon, I would just focus on fire for the time being. I mean, there's really no right or wrong, even though I would say the ones that I just shotgun for a good reason. But outside of the ones that are not recommended, you know, with the whole best sign, I would say don't sleep on like Wood Amayoji, don't sleep on Water Barona, and outside of that, and Wood Bast. So Wood Amayoji, Wood Bast, Water Barona, and then maybe one of these 3 astromon is what I would choose out of everything here. Now with that being said, this is what I'm going to do, just to show you guys my whole method or thought process. So I don't believe I have any Liolapses whatsoever here, but I am rocking a whole bunch of Shinobis, and it would be cool to have a Evo 3 Belle. Where is she at? Yeah, like I said, I only have 2 fed. I could always just wait out freaking World Boss if I really need to, or get lucky and actually use my damn gems and pull for her, and then get her to Evo 3 and test her out that way. So I'm leaning more towards the Lilaps, just because, as I stated before, I have Water Mirror who has Lethal Strike and Hunter, and I think that's really it in terms of my whole dedicated slot for hitting the fire version of Apophis. So she may be the one for me. Merlins, this account is good on Merlins, so I have no desire whatsoever to have him. Let me check my Amayojis. And I apologize here for the whole word splatter. I even have a Wood Hohenheim. You know, congratulations, I've been playing for 85 years. So do I only have 1 Amayoji? Maybe I only have 1. Is Titans open? Let's go over here real quick. Alright, Titans is open. This is spectacular, dude. You guys get to see this not necessarily live, but pre-recorded. Talk about a beauty here. So it looks like I don't have 1. I only have 2 Garudas and 1 Wood Amayoji. So in this case, that Water Lilaps is very, honestly, very enticing. But if that's going to help fill out my whole slots of what I'm working with at this point in time in terms of my Titans teams, then that might be the play of the game, you guys. So let me change this up real quick just to verify. Zubaji. Yeah, I only have 1 Amayoji, so that's it. The game has chosen for me. It says, Eileo, it's time for you to get another Wood Amayoji, and that's what I'm going to do. If this event comes back around again and I don't have a Water Lilaps, then I might do that. But at this point in time, it's a no-brainer for me. That's going to help fill up my whole Wood team. I can kind of change them up and put both of them where they need to be and work on getting the other one to Evo 3. And that is it. So hopefully my word babble here has helped you guys some, and just showing you an example of, let me see what astromon I may be deficient in and let me choose that one. So out of the 6, I would recommend one of those out of the 6. The other ones, it's up to you, because at the end of the day it's just a game here. but I personally would just go with 1 out of the 6. So yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. It's time to go ahead and summon this baby girl and work on getting her to Evo 3. Hopefully this advice helps you guys in some form or fashion. Yeah, that's pretty much it. See ya.